Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and in today's video I am going to be showing you a collection of licks that use a very common triad substitution that we can use to help add a little bit of flavour and a little bit of spice to our blues, our rock, our jazz, our soul, our funk playing. Very, very common. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Now this is inspired by my latest weekly guided practice routine, which you can find over on Patreon, link in the description, where we go into the subject of chromatic superimposition, which is definitely a deep subject if you want to go and check that out. And actually, I think we've got over 40 hours now, 40 hours of weekly guided practice routines over on Patreon. So go and check them out, link in the description. So very simple concept today. I have a C7 backing track and we are going to be soloing over it using the kind of C pentatonic sound, the C Mixolydian sound, but we're going to focus on using B flat major triads over this and integrating them within our C lines. So here's a quick clip of me playing all of the licks so you can hear what they sound like, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to break them down for you. So here we go. Okay, so what have we got going on there? It's very simple in nature. When we play over a C chord, when we play over a C sound, we're going to be primarily using notes of the C Mixolydian scale. Let me just get in a better position for this. We're going to be primarily using notes of the C Mixolydian scale. These are the notes that are they fit over the chord in the best way possible. Now, a major triad contains our root, third, and fifth, and it sounds like our chord. So, drawing musical vocabulary from this C major chord makes a lot of sense. But the concept behind the chromatic superimposition is that we would take our major triad and we would play it starting on each one of the chromatic tones and listen to how that sounds in relation to our bass note. So C major over a C major chord sounds a certain way. D flat major sounds a certain way. D major sounds a certain way. E flat major sounds a certain way. Now, of course, we can analyze why they sound the way they do, and we could use those as ways of finding triads that we can use over different chord settings. Now, the triad that we're going to be using today is going to be a B flat major triad over a C, which sounds like this. Now, like I say, in the weekly guided practice routine, I go into a lot more detail. That results in a 7 sus chord. But the important thing to focus on is that in order to achieve that sound, all we're doing is we're playing a major triad a tone lower than the root note, and that creates this interesting sound. So I'm going to jump on over to the guitar now, show you how that works, and we are going to look at these licks. Here we go. Okay, so we're using the trusty Vigier today. Long time since you guys have seen this guitar. I love this one. It's great fun. So yeah, primarily over our C sound, we're probably used to hearing all of these common C major sounds that are very common in that style. But what we're looking to focus on is playing not C major sounds over our C bass note, but B flat major sounds. This is a really nice chord sound. Now, before spending your time getting familiar with licks, you want to be familiar with physical chord sounds. So playing B flat triads over a C bass note, or we can do it like that, we can do it like this, or like this. So B flat triad with a C in the bass. Now, of course, if you're familiar with my ACE system or undeniable neck geometry, or however you want to think about it, being able to play our B flat major triad in lots of different ways is really important, because those are our core B flat sounds. Then we're going to look at playing them over a C bass note. Now, before you look at the licks, it's worth considering, well, what does it sound like if I just play a B flat major triad followed by a C major triad? So in fact, I've got my loop set here. Let me just lay down a little chord for you. Let's turn my drive down. So super simple. C major. But if I do it certainly has a sound. There's definitely a sound that you hear there, this B flat to C sound. That's the sound that we're looking to achieve. So let's take a look at, more importantly, how I'm going about achieving that in these licks. So the first lick I think of as being quite major pentatonic-y. We're starting around the 5th fret, and I'm going to play this basic position. That's my C major pentatonic. The phrase that I play, I'm leaving lots of space in there. So we go 1. That's a simple major pentatonic phrase. And then to bring in this B flat, we're going to play our C, move down a tone, and then descend a B flat major triad. And then immediately, I think this has been tension, so major pentatonic. We couldn't sit on this forever. We're going to slide back up into our 5th fret area, and then the phrase. So and I actually do add a hammer on and bend that up a tone. 3, 4. So that's the basic phrase. Now you could end it in a million ways. We might go all these options. We're just trying to get this B flat triad down. We want to be able to access that in our C phrasing. So that's the first lick. Just a reminder, here's what it sounds like over the track. Now our second lick is in the same basic position. I'm starting up here on the 3rd of our C chord, and we're staying in position, and then sliding down to our B flat triad, coming back up to our C, ending on that C root note as the first part of the phrase. And you'll notice that roll. You want to roll on the index finger, but you're definitely not, they're not bleeding into each other. And then to finish the phrase, we're going to move back down to these two notes that are in our B flat chord. So our D and B flat. So hit the D and then finish our phrase, bring it back to C. Now my way of thinking of that, of course, would be 6, flat 7, pull off 6, 5, flat 3, 3, to the root, however you want to think about it. I'm seeing my chord. These are just phrases that, you know, I have programmed in. And again, you want to learn more of those, links in the description. So that's our second lick. Here it is over the track. Our third lick is quite a tricky one. We're starting in this C chord down here, and we're moving up to our C chord up here. Now, when I get up here, I'm then going to transition down via this B flat. So we're going to play a B flat, pentatonic phrase, B flat, and resolve to a C. That is how I'm thinking about this. C major, C major, C major, B flat, then we've got a C major sound, B flat, C. It's just triads and I'm spelling it out in an interesting way. So played slowly, it sounds like this. So what is that? Well, we're starting on the root note of C. We play 1, 2, 3, as in root, second, slide up to third. This is just a triad. Root, second, and then we've got third. Straight up a C major triad. Third, fifth, root. Repeat the idea. Great way to outline a C. Now when we get to this C, we're then going to move down B flat. There's our B flat triad. Then we're moving back to our C sound. Now I'm thinking C major pentatonic or C mixolydian. But what I play is just 4 notes. And that sets me up perfectly to come down to B flat triad. And resolve to a C major chord. So we have all C major, B flat, scalar idea, B flat, C. Here's the lick played for you with the track. Now the next lick we are going to be combining all of our triads more aggressively. So we are beginning with a bluesy phrase around the 5th fret. Then sliding down to our B flat. Now from here, I'm going to play B flat, C, B flat, C. B flat, C, B flat, C. And I'm just going to ascend through them. But to make it a little bit smoother, we're going to slide into each one. So we'll come down our B flat, up to the C, up to the B flat, up to the C. That's the first, well, almost all of the licks. Now I wanted to end the phrase, so we're on our major third of C. We're going to play classic blues jazz phrase. I'm on my third, and I'm going to move up chromatically to the 5th. Flat 3, 3, end on the root. So the whole phrase played slowly. B flat, C, B flat, C. A little bit faster. Here's the lick played for you with the backing track. Now finally we're going to move a little bit higher up on the neck. We're going to ascend up a little bit more. So we're starting again in this 5th fret area, and I'm going to play up my C triad, then my bluesy phrase. Now from here we're going to slide up to a C major triad. So So now when I'm here, C major triad, I'm going to slide up to a B flat major triad. This comes out of our C shape. And I'm going to come up to the 13th fret on the B string and then transition back down to my C by going. Of course, there's tabs for all of this, downloadable tabs, played slowly. So I could think C major, blues phrase, C major, B flat major, and then bluesy C7 sound. Here's that to the backing track. Now, if you do head on over to the link to Patreon in the description, I have uploaded a full guitar profile for this, which includes the backing track. So when you look at it, you can see the backing track, and when we press play, there's repeats, so you can play along with it, and you'll hear the backing track. It will sound like this. Which is a wonderful practice tool. So please do feel free to use that and use it as part of your practice routine to help really ingrain these licks into your playing. You can obviously change the tempo if you want to bring the tempo down to 80%. So, or whatever it is that you want to do, set up loops. Really nice tool. So do consider checking that out. And if you do want to check out those weekly guided practice routines and get a little bit more in depth with this stuff, again, you'll find those over on Patreon. Lastly, I just want to say a huge thank you to my wonderful supporters over on Patreon. You guys are absolutely awesome. I'm not entirely sure why, but that's not straight. So there we go. You guys are absolutely awesome. So thank you very much for your kindness and support. And we actually now have a top tier patron. Anthony is a top tier patron. So thank you very much for your support. More on that soon, because I'm sure I'm going to be giving him a proper plug and promoting something. But thank you so much for your support and generosity, Anthony. And of course, if you want to support the channel, do it on Patreon. You can also head on over to Amazon, check out one of my books, and I do have a new book available, which is 100 Licks from the 1960s. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So thank you very much for your kindness, love, generosity, and support, and I will see you for another video very soon. Goodbye.